Have you ever done a character showcase, right? That was so bad you had to explain why you suck at the game? That's exactly what's happening today. Horam, how you doing? How you be? Top to the AB. And this is kind of an interesting one. Generally, I used to do live streams, right? Where I would kind of talk with people and make goofy jokes and stuff like that about games I'm playing as I'm playing them. This one's a little different. This is going to be basically a run that I did on the new Abyss and Genshin Impact. And for those of you who don't know, Genshin Impact is a gacha game, that one of the newer gacha games that have been around for about 4 to 5 years. And I play, essentially, I've taken upon myself to be the resident Klee main, because I'm the only person in the world with a Klee C6, because I literally don't think anybody ever did anything that crazy. So I was like, let me take my Klee into the Abyss, which is like one of the oldest characters known to mankind, and see what she does. So, you know, I'll just take you guys through that and provide some decent commentary and see how it goes. Alrighty, let's see here. So, okay, let's see, before we even start, let's explain the group. All right, because I was explaining, like, whenever I do these, I like doing teams. Like, I do a lot of team builds and stuff like that. So Kazuha, the reason why Klee needs Kazuha is because Kazuha can group her bombs together and can blow people up. Farina is a buffer and provides water that you can vaporize, which makes you do double damage. And Xylonin is a Geo character that gives you the same buffs that Kazuha gives, but in Geo form. So basically, you're super buffing her, as well as providing hydro for her. So that's essentially what happens. Then my Klee, because she's C6, she also has the ability to lower the defense whenever her bombs come out. But I mean, anybody in the game can essentially play this team and win. So let's not kid ourselves here. It doesn't matter which character is in that middle area. Those 3 characters, Kazuha, Farina, and Xylonin, is enough to beat just about anything in the game. Okay, let's continue. Okay, so starting up right now, I don't really know rotations at all. I'm just getting better at it as we go. So I used to just throw bombs and then have Kazuha just kind of group them together, but this guy is resistant to fire. I can tell that just because he's red. And so I was just trying something. I was like, please die, and then go from there. I've played against this guy before. He kind of like charges you and does a lot of damage. So I was just trying different things just to try to deal some damage with Klee and kind of give her the actual spotlight. But really, it's more of a Kazuha show, and Klee's just there for support. But, you know, she's dealing some good damage. It's something that she's never done in the 4 years I've had her. Okay, this isn't even hard. Because these mobs here have been around since the beginning of the game, so like I don't think anyone cares, but it still gives you an idea of how I play her. I do a lot of charge attacks because the charge attacks, okay, there's a situation with Klee, right? So with Klee, you can do charge attacks and the charge attacks will slow you down, because if you try to do, like, for example, if you look at Yelan or Xingqiu, people who actually deal hydro damage as you're actually throwing a basic attack, Klee is faster than all of them, because when she's using her ult is firing more than they can keep up with. So because of that, and faster than she can throw, because it takes a while for her to throw 8,000 grenades. So I naturally just do charge attacks, because charge attacks, like just like with any fire character, they deal a good amount of damage, and you can time it so that every time you do a charge attack, it's with a vaporize. I kind of like the setup, starting with Klee and then going into the ult, simply because having grenades on the ground means that Kazuha can swirl it. Because you got to think about it. Like if you let's say you don't have Klee and you have Zhangling instead, right? Well, sometimes Goba, if a new mob comes out and Goba's halfway across the map, it becomes a problem, because now you have to wait that 10 to 12 second cooldown in order for you to use Goba again. Whereas Klee, you just, especially, you know, with constellations, granted, I get that I'm wailing, but you could just throw that grenade out and then you have it again. But of course, I'm realizing as I'm saying it that Klee's grenades is the same cooldown as Zhangling's Goba, so they're pretty close. But I don't like playing with Goba at all, because you gotta have to drag him around to get pyro on things just so that you can get the debuff for Kazuha. Yeah, 113k is just stupid. She does good damage. She does. Okay, I'm not gonna compare her to Hu Tao. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. But she does good damage. She's no Hu Tao for sure. But her damage is really good, especially with these guys with Geo. I didn't realize it at the time. I've only actually fought these guys once. I did it once with whoever I wanted to do it with, and I was like, you know what? I should probably do this with Klee, seeing in fact there's no Klee videos. And I was like, okay, let me go ahead and try it. The plunge plus Klee's bombs are treated as claymores, so they deal a ton of damage with their shields, and they have a ton of geo shields. You just run into it all the time, and it helps out quite a bit. All right, this guy sucks. One, when I first started playing him, I didn't know that you can jump, because E or Klee or whatever, her cancel whenever she's doing a charge attack, the way she does a charge attack, you're supposed to do a charge attack and then jump in order to save and conserve some of your energy, but it makes you jump too high. So you'll jump and then you'll do a plunge, but Klee's plunge is terrible. Klee has like one of the worst plunges in the game. So you don't really want to do that. So it puts you in a real bad spot. So it's one of those kind of situations. Like, I can get his shield down pretty quickly, but I don't like plunging with Klee. Klee don't do a lot of plunge damage. So it's one of those kind of situations that I keep putting myself in. Yeah, just constantly out of what is it called? Stamina. Constantly out of stamina. See, even the skill Humpty Dumpty, whenever it's triggering, it still does a lot of damage to his shield, which is pretty good. And that is chamber 12-2. So this is the last chamber here. This guy sucks. Like, I didn't know. I've never fought him before. I didn't know, like, he just stops and just be like, nah, I don't want to play with you no more, homie. Let me go to the center of the map and then just try to kill you that way. It was kind of annoying because it's like you set up your entire shop and then he just goes running away and you can't do anything to stop him. You can't slow him down. You can't freeze him. You can't do anything. So it's kind of annoying because he has that Geo shield, so it prevents him from taking any type of freeze or anything. He's naturally Geo, so everything is a crystallized, you know? Well, okay, crystallized without a crystal because, oh yeah, I guess he is dropping crystals. I was about to say, because I didn't see any crystals dropping. Like, I sure as heck wasn't picking any up. So one of those situations. But yeah, I think that this party is probably Klee's best team. I mean, you could try Mono Pyro, but Mono Pyro is not that great. It's okay, but this works out pretty well. Yeah, then he literally just runs away from everything you want to do to him. There is another team that is with Bennett over Xilanen or whatever. Bennett's good too. It's just that Bennett can't keep up. And this is a reason why Hu Tao can't run this team, because Hu Tao is draining health, plus Farina is draining health, and it's hard for Xilanen to keep up because now you're going out of your way to switch to different characters so that she can heal them. And it's just too much work. I would much rather not do any of that and then just pick a character that's better for that situation. So Klee, Zhangling, characters of that nature, Diluc, those kind of characters are a little bit better for this situation than somebody who is also draining their health and not helping the matters. And these are my stats for my Klee. Yeah, she's I apologize. I had no restraint when I was making this character. You don't understand. Okay, here's what happened. So Klee, it's not really a Klee thing, right? Let's say you wanted Diluc, right? Diluc on the standard banner, and this was 4 years ago when Diluc was actually the main character. Well, you could try to wish for Diluc on the standard banner, but the problem with that is if you wish for Diluc on the standard banner, there are weapons there, and that lowers the probability of getting Diluc. However, if you wish for Diluc on the Klee banner, you have a higher probability of getting him, because when you lose that 50-50, it can only be a character. It can only be a standard character. It can't be a weapon. You can't lose to a 50-50 weapon. So it had a higher probability of getting Diluc by just pulling for Klee. So I was like, okay, cool. If I pull for Klee, even if I fail my 50-50, I'll eventually get Diluc. And that's exactly what happened. So I ended up with 7 Klees, and I ended up getting C6 Diluc. So now I had 2 teams. I had a team with Diluc and a team with Klee, and I was good. And that's the way I did mine. So there's some reasoning behind it. It's not just there's some method to the madness. It wasn't just like I was just like, okay, yeah, let me just put all my money towards Klee. I was looking for Diluc. That way I had 2 teams, one with Klee, one with Diluc. But yeah, that was pretty much it on how I ran with Klee, and that's my stats and everything like that. This is a little different than I normally do. Generally, when I'm making videos and I'm in the mix with it, I'm better at making jokes and stuff like that, but we'll see how it goes. I thought this was pretty good. It was kind of an interaction of how I handled that kind of a situation, though granted my characters aren't exactly compatible with anyone at this point, but the simple fact there is no Klee god, I figured I'd give one. And that's gonna do it for today's episode. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you like this video, go to like button. If you really like it, go to subscribe. I love you either way. Take care, all the best, and bye. I will see you next time. Peace. And if you want to watch more of me, there's a video over my head. Just watch that.